Back in 2021, when I bought this Pixel 4a, I knew what I was getting into, and my requirements were quite clear. Since I mostly use a OnePlus device as my daily driver, and they just drifted away from stock Android, that just made me to shift to this Pixel 4a. And I've been using it as my primary and sometimes as a secondary device for almost a year now. So I thought to just revisit this device with a short video and on how well it has aged in this sea of smartphones. Anyways, before we start, make sure to tap on that subscribe button, and if you wish to watch this video in Hindi language, here is a card to the BitTech Hindi channel. Now if I talk a little about the specs, well, they are not at all top of the line, but even in spite of all that, the device has aged really well, as it had 128GB of base storage and the RAM being 6GB is a little less now, but it's enough for most applications other than gaming, which is not the MSP of this device, yes. Overall, Google has been giving it monthly patches on time, and it got major updates like Android 12 and 12L on day 1, which is the best thing about this device, and I'll come back to the software part in a second. Other than that, I definitely miss 90Hz or higher refresh rate, but the animations here are really fluid even now, and I'm excited for the Pixel 6a as it will cover up on that part too. The back panel, which is usually a mess for most people, still looks like new for me. As I said on day 1, do apply a skin of some sort because it is a bit sensitive and gets scuffed up pretty quickly, something I did not like about this device. But the overall in-hand feel of this device is good. The screen size, weight distribution, and even the buttons are perfectly placed. And sadly, it is one of the last Pixel phones that is this compact. And honestly, I am a huge fan of the way it feels in day-to-day usage. And it even has the headphone jack, because why not? Plus, I don't miss that 2MP depth sensor at all, if you know what I mean. I managed to get mine at almost 23.5k with card offers and all, and at that price, I don't have any complaints even now, as the price has managed to remain stable, so it can still get a good resale value even now. Coming to the software aspect, well, as of this date, it got the latest April security patch on 4th day itself, and that's the thing that has been holding me to this phone even now. Sure, Google also messes up in software sometimes, and I have seen some major to minor bugs on this device, but they just managed to fix things on time, at least on this device. And still, it has been getting all the latest major updates, and I miss this quite a lot on other devices apart from Samsung. Now for this device, only one major update is remaining, that is Android 13, and after that only the security patches will continue for almost 1 year, which is fine for a device of this price range, as other phones won't even get Android 13, forget about 14 and so on. Something similar can be seen in the camera part as well, as it has only one 12MP sensor that is way too old now, at least on paper. But the software power just makes it even better than some other phones of 2022. As you can see in some of the image samples that I took. Some awesome images right out of the box without any tweaks, and they have just enough detail in daylight, and if you provide it ample lighting, it can still do great if not the best. In nighttime and low light scenarios, it falls apart quite a bit because the hardware is old now and the software is still trying its best to do the job, and the results are still acceptable and appreciable. And you can definitely use them as Google gives us modes like astrophotography, night portraits and whatnot, and they are honestly fun around to play with. In the video department, it doesn't do great, but I would say it is average to good in most scenarios, and you should not expect much either. The front camera is also a bit weak, I would say, and though it can give some good images in daylight, it is average in low light and overall. I would call it decent at best in 2022. Apart from this, things like the charging time also hurts, which is really slow in today's world. Though the battery is so small that it charges in 1 hour roughly, and speaking about the battery, it still gives around 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time, which isn't great if I compare it with other phones, but it still has such a small battery and it does its best in managing the standby drain and overall keeping things in control while not killing the apps in background. Also, things like no call recording can be an issue for many users, but the call quality has been quite good, and things like the Wi-Fi reception and signal quality has been up to the mark as well. Plus, I really love the eSIM functionality here, as I just don't have to swap physical SIMs anymore. Lastly, there is no 5G available, so that makes it less future-proof. But funnily, what difference did it make if I compare it with the phones that had 5G support? So it's always good to have the option, I guess. Overall, I think it has been one of the most value for money phones that I ever purchased because it just ticked all the basics right and delivered on the promises made by the brand. And though I won't recommend it at the current price, but if it was somewhere around 18 to 20,000 or so, then it would have been a good option, I guess. And that's pretty much it for now. So if you do end up liking this video, make sure to tap on that subscribe button and press that like button while you are at it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.